going on, guys? I'm Brian.
I'm Mike.
And we are discussing episode 4 of Loki today. First of all, your impression of the episode?
I like it. It was good.
Yeah.
It was cool.
First, spoiler before we get into anything. They kind of show Sylvie's backstory, even though we really don't need one, because she basically explains enough of it. The weirdest part of this episode is there's a love connection between Loki and Sylvie.
Gross.
It's really weird. It's almost like
he loves himself.
It's really because he does it. It doesn't make sense, kind of. It makes sense, kind of, and then it doesn't make sense because she is still a different person, but she's still Loki.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she doesn't go by that name, she's still Loki. They end up back at the TVA due to Mobius, which I have to go back to the previous 3 episodes because I kept calling him Morbius.
The human vampire?
He's not the human vampire. This is Mobius. Just so happens to have the same name except for an R in his name. So, Owen Wilson's character, Mobius, brings him back, and they go and find Loki and Sylvie before the planet crashes, and they come back to almost just torture them.
Mm-hmm.
It's really odd, because it's like, why would you just let them die on that planet?
Right.
And just get rid of the whole thing, just let them die on that planet. What really bugs me is that with this episode, they still haven't really done anything to show what happened to all the timelines when they got bombed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love this series. This is actually probably my favorite series out of the 3 that's come out with Loki, Falcon, Winter Soldier, and WandaVision. It's probably my favorite series just because the acting's really good. I think it's incredibly funny, and it's also very fantastical and interesting to watch. This episode was a little weird. I liked how she sent him there. They sent Loki into a time loop.
Oh yeah.
And they actually brought back Lady Sif, and we haven't seen her. We haven't seen her since I think she was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for an episode, but
was she?
We really haven't seen her from
I
since.
Never watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I never watched it. I watched the first season and then I stopped. I believe she was in an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode, and then we haven't seen her since Thor: The Dark World.
Oh yeah.
Because she wasn't killed with the Warriors 3 in Ragnarok, so it was cool to see her back. But they're doing this time loop after Loki has cut her hair, and Loki's just getting destroyed by her, like literally just being destroyed by her.
Yeah.
And he keeps trying to save himself, and he keeps saying, I'm sorry, I know that I'm a horrible person, and I know why this is all happening.
It doesn't help.
It doesn't help. She keeps hitting him. There's one time where she lets him go, and then it just restarts again, and he's like, oh, this is going to happen again, and he gets hit.
What's happening?
It's really cool, though, because they actually take that from Norse mythology, where Loki cuts her hair, and he actually goes to the dwarves to help craft brand new hair for her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really cool they put that in there. They end up telling Loki tells Mobius that they're all variants. Everybody there's a variant. And Owen Wilson's character is conflicted. He doesn't want to believe him, but he also does want to believe him. And then he goes and he finds the files that show I think we're all that they're all variants, and they actually prune the girl that I think it's like C27 or something like that. C22.
C something.
They prune her and basically kill her.
Unfortunate.
Because Sylvie unlocked her memories.
Yeah.
Loki gets thrown back into time loop, and you can tell that he's just bruised and battered. Then Owen Wilson goes to save him, and he finally admits to Ravenna, who is the love of Kang the Conqueror, which that's all evolving around Kang the Conqueror in the series. You can see it. You can see it coming Mobius gets pruned.
Damn.
After he says something about a jet ski and where he'd like to be and stuff like that. Loki is once again getting arrested and all that stuff, and they're actually being taken to the Timekeepers. This was actually really cool because I'm thinking, okay, we're actually going to see the Timekeepers and see what they're like. And
it's like
they are. It's really funny too because they look really, really good, but they also like are made to look like puppets.
Yeah,
they're literal puppets.
Like
they're
puppets.
And it's all three of them. They're all like encased in fog and smoke, and they're saying like all these extravagant, prominent things like, what do you have to say for yourself and stuff like that, and then Sylvie cuts off the middle one's head.
Yeah.
And inside of it is literally just robot parts. And that goes back to the very first episode on why they have to test to make sure that they're not robots. I assume it's because they just don't want other robots in here, because I guess they can either sense that there's another robot or they can calculate that and all that stuff. You say robot uprising?
Yeah.
We're not watching Terminator.
Doesn't matter. I've seen Age of Ultron.
It is true. You know, like, when we get to the end of the episode, we'll talk about that. All that happens. There's a big fight, and then Loki is trying to. You can tell that Loki's going to say something. I have a feeling that it's like you think that he's going to tell Sylvie that he loves her.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that this is going to go a different way. Like, I really think that he's going to like turn on her because it's Loki. Why not?
He's going to kill her.
Yeah, and because before he's even able to say anything, he gets pruned by Ravenna. And it does the same thing where Vision is going away. Back in WandaVision, Loki's face is the last thing that she sees.
Damn. That's tight.
And this is the first episode of the series where it has an end credit scene.
Oh yeah.
Loki wakes up, and he is trying to figure out where he's at, and standing in front of him are 4 different Lokis from 4 different universes. There's an old Loki that looks like he's from the comic books. There's another Loki who looks like he's from, I think it's called like
Boastful
Loki, that's what it is. There's Kid Loki, and then there's my favorite one, which is Alligator Loki. Loki Gator. And people were theorizing that the voice was coming from Gator Loki. And I think it'd be pretty fun if it was actually Gator Loki.
Yeah.
If you look in the background, though, you can actually see the Avengers Tower, Stark Tower, like being destroyed. And if you have to freeze frame it, and if you look in the background, there's a Loki Tower, and it looks like the battle from New York. It's really cool.
Oh, yeah.
A lot happened in this episode, but then a lot didn't happen. It was very much like an expositional episode.
Right, just some filler content.
But it's really cool because there are a few surprises, and there's also a few like non-surprises where I think the biggest surprise was them actually like pruning Mobius.
Yeah.
And Mobius realizing that the TVA isn't all it's cracked up to be.
Right.
The biggest non-surprise was that the Timekeepers were nothing.
Yeah. Just puppets.
Like the theorizing of the actual big bad of this series, and he's already been announced to be the big bad of Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania is Kang. This all leads to what it could be Kang, and I'd be surprised unless they do a thing where I don't know where the theories came from that everybody thought was going to be Mephisto in WandaVision. I don't know where those theories came from,
right?
Because I never thought once that it was going to be the devil.
Nope.
I don't see how they're going to do how they're going to backtrack from it being Kang and save him for Quantumania. Yeah, I have no idea how they're going to do it, because if they do it well enough, then it's going to be the biggest like twist that you'll ever see. If they don't do this well and they just hit the wall and it's not Kang, but it's just somebody else that they decide to be. I feel like this is going to be the biggest letdown they could probably do for this series. The series is like right now hinging.
Yeah.
Like this series is either going to keep going up and hit the peak and be the best series so far that's been released for. If I'm being honest, I like this series more than I like Mandalorian.
Oh.
And I like Mandalorian's an amazing series.
That's fair.
It's the best out of the MCU series that's come out.
Ooh.
At least to me it is.
I like it a lot.
It's all gonna hinge on that final episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because if they don't reveal that it's Kang, or if they don't reveal that he has something to do with it,
right?
And like maybe Ravenna was just the timekeepers, and she's the one that's controlling all of them for Kang.
Oh. It's
gonna be this series. Like this is gonna be either the most loved series or the most hated series, because it's either gonna have it's a good comparison we lost. The beginning episodes are really, really good. The beginning series is really, really good. The ending, everybody hated because, man, I really like. Here's the thing: it'd be the biggest troll job if Loki does this, because again, we all know what we're expecting. We all know what we're trying to look forward to.
We have expectations.
Because this all has to do with time. Literally everything about it has to do with time. And if they don't give us what we're looking for, I don't see how this series is going to survive.
No.
Like, I don't think this is going to be a season 2, because I don't think any of these
MCU shows.
These MCU shows are going to have season 2s because they all tie back into the movies and stuff like that. So I think there's going to be there's going to be a new series coming out, like that Hawkeye series is coming out, or Marvel What If and stuff like that. I think there's going to be new characters that are going to get new series.
Right.
I don't see how there's going to be another season of WandaVision. I can kind of see how they're going to do Captain America and Winter Soldier, even though they're getting a movie, Captain America 4 is coming out.
Right.
I don't see how, unless the final episode, leaves off on a cliffhanger for Loki. I don't see how there's going to be a second season of Loki, like how there can be for Mandalorian. Mandalorian's going into its 3rd season now. They're already filming it, and the reason why is because there's so much story. Even though there's so much story for Marvel, they're kind of building themselves into a corner where it all has to converge onto Kang.
Yeah.
If this doesn't converge onto Kang and he's not the big bad like we're all talking about, and if he's just the big bad for the Quantumania movie, they are like they're blowing the load, man. This would be like if Thanos was the villain for this would be like if Thanos was the villain for Incredible Hulk.
No, this is the equivalent of having the Mandarin as the villain for Iron Man 3.
I want to combat that though, because I loved how they did the Mandarin in Iron Man 3.
Pretty good. It was
that was hilarious because I love Ben Kingsley and he was just super funny.
Now we're actually getting like legitimate Mandarin.
Yeah. And we can go on and on with this. I really like this episode.
Yeah.
It was a good episode. It wasn't too folklore. It wasn't too. It was very much a build. It was very much getting to the next episode.
Yeah.
And I like how at the end of it they show more versions of Loki and how different time loops can converge onto one thing. So my overall rating, again, I have to give this a 10. It's been perfect 10s across the board for me so far.
8.
8?
8. No. Yeah, 8.
8. Explain.
I just, I don't know.
Didn't tip your fun? Didn't tip your interest?
No. I felt it was a little slow. But it's just me. So
tell us what you thought. What you think your theories are for the upcoming season finale after episode 5. And let us know what your variant would be. So, see you next time. I'm Brian.
I'm White.
And like, comment, subscribe. Bye-bye.